Welcome back now. Well, we are rejoined by our State House insiders, Antoine Seawright and Dave Wilson. Guys, quickly, we're going to get to those presidential candidates in a moment. Last night's State of the State with the governor focusing a lot on education.
Education was a huge topic for the governor. Education and economic development, we've always said the two go together. It followed up today by a huge bill that was being introduced by Speaker Jay Lucas in the House. It's got bipartisan support on both sides. It's got support from the governor, who announced it last night during the State of the State. It's got support from Molly Spearman, the superintendent of education. That is a vast overhaul of education, which has been a push by the business community for years. The Transform SC initiative has been a part of that, and a lot of the things that they've been talking about are now finally consolidated into about an 86-page bill that the House will start taking up next week.
I welcome the governor and his party to the idea of modernizing public education in South Carolina. For decades now, Democrats have been pushing while to reform and modernize education. Republicans have been pushing, trying to jam down private school vouchers down the throats of South Carolina taxpayers. I welcome them to the party. Understand that the governor has very limited power in the state, and so it's going to take House and Senate Democrats and Republicans to get something done. But we don't need fluff. We need real solution, because this is about our children's future.
And when you look through that bill, it is chock full of meat, of changes that need to take place.
While the Republican Party were pushing its members to go to a school choice rally, and now they care about
partially because it takes a full, comprehensive look at what needs to happen for us to have an educated public in South Carolina, across all the way from early childhood all the way through to higher ed. You can't have it when you educate the public.
I want to touch on the 2020 presidential campaign already. Senator Kamala Harris going to be here in the state tomorrow. Elizabeth Warren was here last night. Senator Cory Booker and Senator Bernie Sanders were here earlier in the week. Why the rush to get to South Carolina?
Battleground South Carolina. I said it in a BuzzFeed News article. The most important state in the Democratic primary will be South Carolina, because of the African American vote in the primary, which is the heart and soul of this Democratic Party. My famous line is, "The road to heaven and the White House runs through South Carolina," and any candidate who wants to be our nominee has to spend significant time here and make serious investments. And this is what politics is about. At the end, whoever is our nominee, it's so important that we come together and be united to put forth an agenda in November of 2020.
Unlike the other early primary states, which would be Iowa and New Hampshire and Nevada, South Carolina is the most racially diverse of those four early primary states. It gives both parties, whenever there is a primary that goes on, an opportunity for their message to get out. I mean, South Carolina is not the biggest state in the union. We've got 4 or 5 major media markets that are here. It's cheaper for it to be able to be done. It's got pockets of people that they can get to very easily. And I think what you're going to see over a while is a lot of faces that are going to be coming through here, especially on the Democratic side, because they're looking for a nominee. But there is the hint of what Republicans are going to start coming through who might be up for challenging the president in 2020. There are some who've already started to raise those flags.
That would be true if the RNC did not vote today for a resolution to close off any idea of a primary challenger for the president. Apparently, Republicans do not want to hear voices from within their organization. No problem with that. We have our own fight on the Democratic side. I just hope for my party's sake that we nominate someone not who can beat Trump, because we don't win that way, but someone who will put forth a policy agenda that the American people are so hungry and thirsty for, because they're not getting it from this president and his Republican Party.
Quickly, do you both believe President Trump can be beaten in South Carolina?
Absolutely.
I doubt it. The reason for that is the fact that he's got a huge name ID, a huge level of support in South Carolina. To be beaten in South Carolina in a primary, no. In a general election, it would take a significant swing of the electorate in order to do that. And I don't think, if you take a look at the numbers that we've seen in previous elections, even the most recent election for governor, I don't think you're going to have enough to be able to sway around and the 9 electoral votes of South Carolina go and swing to the Democrats.
No one can predict the political future. I think it would be political malpractice for anyone to say something can't be done. The same people who said Joe Cunningham could not win, same people who said Doug Jones could not win, same people who said Conor Lamb could not win, the same people who said Democrats would not win the Congress are the same ones who are saying they can't be done. So I just like to wait and see. I think anything is possible in politics.
All right, Antoine Seawright, Dave Wilson, guys, thank you so very much.
JR.
Look forward to this each and every week. It's a long way between now and 2020, so it's going to be very interesting over the next several weeks and months and years for that.